Okay. Somehow the sound got turned down. I'm sitting there talking to you guys, and there's no sound. All right. It's fixed. It is fixed. So what I was saying is, I was showing you guys JJ sleeping, Bruce Wayne sleeping. We had a full day already today. Karen and I got up at 5:45. Went to the gym with the dogs. I think I was there probably an hour and 45 minutes, but I let Justice play with a Labradoodle there, which was really cool. So make sure to check out that video. It should be coming sometime next week. And I hope everyone has, since it's coffee and Corsos, you guys need coffee. My coffee of choice is Utica Coffee Roasters. I turn it into cold brew, and then I put 8 ounces almond milk and stevia in it. So that's my coffee, and here are my Corsos. So these lives, you know, you're not going to see a ton of the dogs. Right, buddy? Right, dude? Yeah. You're not going to see too much of the dogs. I mean, hey, thanks for subscribing. I missed who just subscribed, though. I just saw Britney Spears dance. I'm not a Britney Spears fan, but I use like the same settings on these lives as Kara's. She's a huge Britney Spears fan. So some quick housekeeping notes before I get started on this live. Let me see here. Let me just scroll through these. Okay. So if you see this amazing shirt, created by yours truly, designed by yours truly. Actually, if you go to the chat, you can just click the you can just click right there and get yourself one. This is the grunge collection. So it's all highlighting Bruce Wayne, Cane Corsos. It's limited time only. So once they're gone, don't be yelling at me that they're all sold out and they're gone, because they're gone for good. Limited time only. We have 4 designs I did. There's this one, and then there's 3 others. I'm gonna post an Instagram reel later today if you're interested. But again, very limited time only. And actually, let me just check my email. I've been trying to get you guys a discount through spring. Let me see if my dude emailed me back yet. Not yet. Yeah, I don't think they're going to be able to do a discount. Okay. So I don't think that's happening. But either way, check it out. I love this. This is one of my favorite designs. This is actually one of my favorite pictures. Okay, Maddie4661 sub. Thanks, Amber. Appreciate you. And thanks for subbing, Maddie4661. So, as you guys know, finally, Will made it here after probably 4 or 5 canceled trips over the last 2.5 years. He's been trying to make it. Because of the C word, they kept canceling his flight. So, this last time I'm like, bro, I'm not going to believe you're even going to make it until like you're halfway across the ocean. He made it. He left yesterday morning. I had a video go up yesterday just introducing Bruce to a stranger, how I went about it. So I'm going to also play that video because it's a short video, and we're going to discuss it. And then I'll answer some questions really quick if I can. Super chat donation questions always take top priority. And then any remaining time, I'll go through some questions. So it's like, wow, when I saw you, Bruce Wayne, Will, yesterday's video, yeah, I was pretty excited. So before because one of the common questions I get is, obviously a guardian breed, once they're out of that puppy stage and they start hitting adolescence, not that they don't like strangers, they're more aloof with strangers. And obviously when somebody's on your property, a guard dog, what do? That's why in the video and in this, aggression is in quotes, because people will message me, email me, DM me saying, hey, my dog's extremely aggressive when people come over. And actually, let me just change the shutter speed here. Give me 1 second. I didn't realize it was up so high. Shutter speed. I gotta bring this down. All right, cool. A guardian breed is going to guard your property, right? A guardian breed is going to guard your house. My property is Bruce Wayne's property, and It's his to protect, he feels. So he's just doing his job. Just because he's barking at someone, just because you see him acting aggressive because UPS is coming up the driveway, doesn't mean he's an aggressive dog. It means he's fulfilling his instincts as a dog. And that's a big thing too. When you're searching for a dog, make sure you get a dog which lines up with your lifestyle, lines up with your personality, lines up with what you can do to fulfill their instincts. A guard dog likes to guard. It's in their instincts. A lab and a retriever likes to retrieve things. So if you're using it for hunting, they retrieve for you. You're fulfilling their instincts. And that's a big issue. And, you know, a lot of people have is they don't fulfill their dog's instincts. So I'm going to play this video. I think I worked it out where you can still hear me talk and also hear the video. So obviously I can't hear what you guys are hearing. So in the super chat, please let me know when I play this video if all of a sudden you can't hear my voice. I'm gonna keep talking when I start it, and if it cuts out, there's like probably a 30-second lag between me talking and what you guys see. So let's see if this works. Let me know if it doesn't, and here we go. This is how I introduce Bruce Wayne to a stranger that I want to bring into the house. So basically, I put him on a stay, and I hugged Will. The moment that Will wrapped his arms around me, Bruce started barking and doing his guarding, per se. I accidentally broke his command. I didn't say, Bruce, okay, but how I talked to him and my body language, he thought I was breaking his command. So I put him back on a stay. I hugged Will. That way, he could see Will touching me and I wasn't in any harm. Will obviously knows how to handle big guardian breeds. Will knows the proper way to introduce himself to a dog. You know, no look, no touch. Don't even pay attention to the dog. Just act like they're not there. So I let him off. I knew what was going to happen. I told him okay. He was going to run up to Will, bark at him. And he's like, oh, cool. Nothing's wrong. You can see Bruce's body language. And to even satisfy Bruce's needs to make him feel like Will is a friend, I told Bruce to go get his ball. And then we walk into the backyard, and, you know, Will kept ignoring Bruce for a little bit. Once Bruce took his pee, hung out with me, kind of smelled Will. And I told Will, I'm like, hey, you want to play a little bit of tug of war with him? And then they were best friends. And that is how I usually introduce strangers to Bruce Wayne. I don't like to do it in the house. You can even take this one step further and introduce your dog to someone completely off of your property.
You guys believe
on 100%
Finally,
Will
has made it.
I'm going to stop this right here.
Will has made it.
This is funny.
And he met Bruce Wayne.
Bruce is over here, and you hear Will when he goes in
Now
the
he's about
garage
to
saying,
meet
I thought you used to
Justice. Bruce, let's
Photoshop
go.
his eyes, but I don't. Like when the sun hits those eyes,
Bruce.
they just glow orange.
Let's go.
So it was a really funny observation.
Good
by
boy, buddy.
Will.
Good boy.
Here, I think, probably right here. I can't hear the video.
Like that, like when the light hits them, it's like, oh my god.
Okay. So, taking your dog out of your house and then letting your dog warm up to someone, once your dog's warmed up, and then bringing them into the house, 9 times out of 10, I mean, there's nothing foolproof, right? What works for me, what works for this trainer, for that dog trainer, isn't going to work for everyone. Every dog in every situation is different. But I've noticed every single time I introduce somebody to Bruce outside, it makes the inside part way smoother, way easier. Bruce is warmed up to them much faster if they understand how to behave around a dog. And I'll get to that in a minute. Back to what I was saying. If you're really worried about your dog not being able to warm up on your property, because Bruce, like I said, my ground area, even my neighbor's yard, in Bruce's head is Bruce's area. I could have basically drove down the road with Bruce, had him out, met up with Will, introduced them in completely neutral territory, drove a mile down the road back home, and then probably would have even been a little bit smoother and easier. Now, you have to make sure you're fully educating anybody on the behavior you want with your dog in the house. Obviously, I don't need to do that with Will, but make sure you give them your ground rules. Your rules may be different than my rules, but also make sure you teach them how to introduce themselves to your dog properly. You know, let's say the camera lens is a dog. Don't have them doing this. Do you want this in your face? A lot of people do that, and in my opinion, that's not the right way to introduce yourself to a dog. If you notice that, sometimes a dog will sniff, but a lot of times people are doing this, right? And I don't even let the dog sniff me. Just let the dog just naturally come up and sniff you. You don't need to put your hand out. They can just sniff your leg, they sniff your butt, they sniff your crotch. Dogs usually sniff people's crotch because that's where a lot of the scent is. But beyond that, so let's say Sally Joe is coming over to spend the night at your house. For starters, if you have a guardian breed, you should really make sure they're comfortable around dogs. If they are nervous around dogs, especially big dogs, the dog's gonna feel that. The dog's gonna sense that stress in them. When you get stressed, you release cortisol, endorphins, adrenaline. The dog's gonna sense that, and in turn, their guardian instincts are gonna be heightened. Like, what's this person about to do? Why do I smell all this cortisol coming out of them? Why can I sense their adrenaline? That type of thing. If they don't like dogs, if they're scared of dogs, or if they are like, I'm a little shy, but I think I'll be okay, I would try to make other plans just to make your life easier, right? Now, if they're like, yeah, I'm fine with dogs, cool, I'm not afraid of big dogs, I've been around big dogs, make sure they understand how to fully introduce themselves to the dog, as in, when they're outside, don't look at the dog, don't touch the dog, pretend the dog's not even there. If the dog's barking on the side, tell them to don't even have them give the dog a look. Just have them completely ignore the dog. Make sure your dog's on a stay. Now, I could have attached Bruce Wayne's leash to something outside so he wouldn't break his stay at all. Again, he broke his stay because of me. And you could see right when I hugged Will, Bruce went off. Bruce started barking, but he still stayed. He thought, I'm theorizing here. He thought when I said, was talking to him that I was letting him off his stay, which I wasn't. That's my bad on me. Hold on a second. So you could attach a leash just for your own stress if your dog doesn't have a really good stay like Bruce. No shame in that. Not every person trains their dog as militant as I do. And like I said, there's no shame in that whatsoever. Give that person a handshake. Give them a hug. Talk with them for a bit. Even if the dog's barking, you can look at your dog and give them a command to stop barking or anything like that. They need to just keep looking at you. Again, completely ignore the dog. Once the dog seems to settle down, I know how Bruce is going to react, so I had no issue just letting him off leash. I knew he was going to run forward, bark at Bruce, or bark at Will, basically say, what's up? Hi, rah. And then move on with our life. Now, if Will was afraid of dogs, and Bruce did that, and he's like, oh my God, that situation could have completely turned where Bruce is like, whoa, I thought you were cool. Why are you freaking out now? What are you about to do? And he may get more guardy. So that's the best way, in my opinion, to introduce a stranger that you want to bring into your house to your dog if they are a guardian dog. And again, that wasn't aggression whatsoever. That was him just fulfilling his instincts, making sure I'm okay, protecting what is his. The house, me, Kara, Justice, all that stuff. Now, I get the question when people have, let's say maintenance people come over to the house. Let's say I have to have some plumbing done or I have to have something fixed. I don't let them meet Bruce. There's no point. Why do I want every single stranger that's coming into the house to be friends with my dog? Because in my head, I don't want my dog to start to think that everybody that comes onto the property can come onto the property. I want to be alerted when somebody comes to the house, you know? So I'll just put him out back to play in the yard. If I have to put him in another room, which is rare, I'll put him in another room. But I don't even bother trying to introduce them because I don't want him to think that these people can just walk into my house. Who knows, the plumber comes, fix the sink, kind of scopes it out, meets the dog, becomes friends with the dog, and they're a shady character. We go out of town, or I leave for the day, they come in and Bruce isn't going to do crap because he's like, hey, this is the fun guy that I just met a week ago. I love this dude, right? So that's why I don't introduce like that type of person to Bruce Wayne. There's just no need in my mind. Now, if you have like a delivery person that's coming to your house every single day consistently, yeah, maybe you want to, maybe you don't. That's totally up to you. But I hope that makes sense, and I hope that answers like a lot of the questions on like, you know, how can I introduce my dog to strangers that are coming into the house, like family members and stuff. And another good tip is start people that are going to be frequently coming to your house, family, a friend that's frequently coming. Start when they're young too. So for example, Alyssa, my sister-in-law, she can just walk in the house and Bruce is going to bark for a minute, but then he's cool. Isn't he? His bark doesn't mean he's going to eat her. So, you know, having family come often when they're young will really help that process when those guardian instincts kick in and they're like, yeah, nobody's coming in the house. All right. I have not looked at the chat box yet. I just want to see one thing really quick. All right, we've got 162 people in there. All right, let me, so I'm going to, give me one sec. I just want to scroll up. Bay Mazias, hello from the Philippines. What's up? Back to you. Yo, Bruce Wayne, hello. Justice is purring like a cat. Like, it's funny. And it's also funny how, like, much he looks like Bruce Wayne at this age. You know, that skinny, long, tall, like, panther, like, when he walks. Like, it's looks just like Bruce Wayne. It's crazy. Tanks channel. Hey guys, just saw you were live. Justice looking awesome. How is Bruce Wayne doing, by the way? He's doing good. So, a lot of you guys know, Bruce hurt his leg jumping off the bed because there's a pillow on the ground that fell on the ground. So when he jumped off the bed, it like slipped. So I don't know if he like hurt his paw, elbow, or shoulder. I don't know. It's just hard. He'd walk and he'd walk fine, but if he started to trot, you could see him like limping a little bit. Seemed fine, and then he jumped off the couch and he started limping again. So the bedroom door's shut now. I'm probably going to keep him off the bed for like a month. And then when I do start letting him in the bed again, I'll put one of these dog beds below just to cushion it a little bit, and that way it won't slip because it's texture in the bottom so it won't slide in the hardwoods. And also for now, you know, the couch isn't high, right? The couch is fairly low, but to even minimize him jumping off that, we have a dog bed here and then another dog bed right here. That way when he gets off the couch, he's really not jumping down, just to lessen the impact. And then on top of it, as messy as this looks, Kara loves it. It's like a slumber party every night for her because the whole living room's like a cushiony bed, so it's like really comfortable. So as ugly and nasty as it looks, is what it is. So thank you for asking how Bruce is doing. I just love the intro. Thank you. All right, still. Oh, look at that. Nancy Butler, 6 shirt but no sound. Thank you, Nancy. All right, let me see. Kayla's Canines. Lane's here. What's up? Lane, are you still meeting up with Will later? Let me know. Naveet Kumar, love from India. Love back to you, dude. Oh, yeah. JJ pooed on the gym floor today. Right after playing with the Golden. Just a little bit. So he had diarrhea last night. In the middle of the night. I don't know if he ate something he shouldn't have outside. You know puppies, they constantly eating stuff on the ground. That's like a never-ending battle until puppyhood's done. Same with Bruce. So then he's playing with the puppy, and then like he squirted out like a little soft poo. So I have it on video too, you know, so I don't hide that stuff. And that's the only time I think he's ever pooped in the house, you know, with the diarrhea. So hopefully he's feeling better today. He ate all his food this morning. I kept it, just to counteract that, I kept it really low fat. A lot of chicken. He does good in chicken so far. Bruce doesn't. And chicken's cheaper, so he's getting chicken. And he loves it. Bruce loves chicken too. He just doesn't do well on it. What's my diet? Super healthy. I eat like really, I've always eaten super healthy. I don't drink alcohol. Why do you ask though what my diet is? I've never met Tom Davis. Will's visit was amazing. Will is such a good guy. Like even before meeting Will, he's felt like family. We're very close. And then just seeing him in person, you know, it's weird because I have another friend I've known for like 15 years, but never actually met in person. And a lot of people are like, is it weird knowing somebody via social media, talking to them all the time online, but not actually meeting them? Like, meeting Will was just like, it was super excited to actually see him in person and see each other in person, and actually spend time with him one-on-one in person. But there was like no awkwardness at all. It was just like literally like I just saw him yesterday type deal, which says a lot about how we feel or how I feel about Will. That's right, Tiffany. Just tell you who's at the door. Of course Bruce Wayne does good off leash. I have so many videos, him off leash. I can literally ride on a bike for 2 miles and keep him on the heel without a leash. Lois, go to my Instagram, JasonCorey411. Go to my highlights. Go to dog training. And then you will see Bruce Wayne off leash while I'm riding a bike next to me. Let me see if I can pull it up for you all if you haven't seen it. And I'm going to turn down my sound so you don't have to hear it. There's Bruce Wayne. It's actually back that way behind the wooded area. Like 1.5 miles, 2 miles. People can like walk between us. Bikers can come between us. He stays on the heel. So yeah, Bruce, I trained him very well off leash, and even Justice off leash. Will was like Justice at 18. Will was just in awe of how well trained Justice is at just 18 weeks old. And he's more well trained than most adult dogs, which I completely agree with him. We put a lot of work into him. A lot of work, but also not a lot of structured work. Everything I do with my dogs, I'm always training my dogs. Like I'm just going outside, coming inside. I'm always commanding them and always praising good behavior and always correcting anything negative that I don't want them to do. So he's just been so far amazing. My cane jumped the fence and attacked a I don't know what he wrote, to protect my 2 other dogs, but was killed doing so. I don't think you... Well, were your dogs in danger? Because if your dogs were in the fence too, he really wasn't protecting them. And that's why it's really important to work on reactivity with your dogs. You know, I always say I don't need my dogs to like other dogs, but my dogs need to be able to tolerate other dogs, which is why I socialize them carefully, starting at puppyhood, with dogs I can trust. And like today, my friend Anthony, who works at Crunch Fitness, where we bring the dogs, he brings his dog to work. It's a golden doodle, very well trained, you know, well trained like Bruce is. So I let Justice and him play together today and meet each other. Damon, night and day. Kids are very stubborn. They're not into pleasing their owners. No, King Corso saying, Harley's mama. I have a 3-year-old Corso, great dog, but stubborn. Was Bruce Wayne stubborn to train? No, he was not. Neither was Justice. You know, every dog's different. It could possibly be you. It could be your approach. It could be the dog. You know, it could be a million things, but typically that's not typical of Corsos. Corsos are very, typically very eager to please. Maddie, if the video is too loud, turn down your speakers a little bit. And to answer, have you ever had issues when you're still on guard, not taking someone? No. Oh, crap, I just lost where I was. Where was that? Oh, Kara, you in here still, babe? My wife's in here. Kara Corey Fit Life. All right, I got to go back up. Everyone go check out Kayla's Canines, by the way. Go sub her channel. I love her. She's amazing. And she's actually in New Jersey. And she may go, I think her and Will are going to meet up today. Crap, I lost my spot. Give me a second. I'm sorry about this, guys. Okay, I found it. Totally agree with that, Jason. Kids, Canines, totally agree with that, Jason. That's the best way for my... she's got Germans. Yeah, it's just taking them off that neutral territory, like in the house especially, like introducing a dog in the house, it's just like, it's a small confined space, you know, that's really getting in someone's personal space when you're talking in the house, and that's why it's just so much easier to move that meeting to a more neutral territory, as neutral as possible. Sorry, I'm not going to answer questions that I answer every single day of my life. How much does he weigh? How big is he? No touch, no talk, no eye contact. That's right, Tiffany. I tell Avon Angel Eyes, I tell people constantly, don't put out your hand. Turn sideways and act bored. Then slam some treats in their hand. That's right. Give them some. That's another tip. If your dog's warmed up, completely forgot about that. I don't usually use treats. I'm not against treats. You know, Bruce wasn't really treat driven. He's more treat driven now that he's trained. As a tiny pup, he was treat driven, and same with JJ. And then they kind of lost interest, and it became more like love, praise, wanting to please. That's the thing. Anybody that wants a Corso, use the breed traits to your advantage, such as they want to please their owners. They really are affectionate. They really want to be with the owners. So use that for your advantage when training your dog. Enjoy class, Henry Bean. Nothing I can do about that. Could be your device. Sounds only coming on one side of your headphones. Probably your device. Let me see what else is here. What time is it? Okay. Sorry for the dead silence. I'm trying to read. That's why I like doing So also, just so you know, every Thursday, almost every Thursday, I'm going to be doing Coffee and Corsos, where I'm going over a topic. And then Sundays, I am going to do In the Doghouse with the Corys, which is me, the dogs, and my wife. So I like having her involved. I'm going to actually let me talk about that really quick too. Another quick subject we can get into. And I'll go over it deeper with her on Sunday. So I don't know if this woman commented. I was talking about pack hierarchy on the last Sunday's live. Lane, please, in the comments, if you're still here, give your thoughts on this as well, because Lane's a dog trainer, guys. So she's awesome. So I think I said something like, I was talking about pack hierarchy, and I was probably talking about why we do things in a structured manner like we do. And I was saying how the dogs see the pack hierarchy as me number 1, Kara number 2, B-Dubs is number 3, JJ is number 4. So I'm scrolling through the comments today, and some woman writes, I also put that in my Instagram highlights because Kara responded to that. Let me see. If you guys want to follow me on Instagram, you're going to be able to, I'm always posting stuff with the dogs. Jason Corey 4-1, follow me there, say hi. So let me just go to my Instagram story here. Okay. So Deb K, in regards to me talking about pack hierarchy and saying I'm number 1, to the dogs, I'm number 1, Kara's number 2, blah, blah, blah. Enough putting your woman down. I personally don't appreciate it. She is number 2, stop it. The dogs can feel the attitude whether you speak it or not. It's like, huh? Like, is she having like a bad day? Is she just like maybe been mistreated by men in her life in a bunch of bad relationships? I don't know. I don't know her backstory. But anyways, Kara responds, hey Deb, I definitely agree with Jason. He was not putting me down whatsoever. He thinks the world of me. It's as Jason stated, the pack hierarchy is just facts. And learning this has helped me better understand dogs and being a good dog leader. On my Instagram story, I write, this type of mentality is not healthy for your dogs. This type of mentality can be dangerous in regards to large, powerful breeds. Individuals need to understand dogs are not humans. You cannot have a weak mindset in regards to large, powerful breeds. Stop letting facts hurt your feelings and instead become more educated in how a dog's mind works. Your dog will be much happier if you can understand them and their behavior. So, the reason I'm number 1 is because I do all the initial training. I am the ones with the dogs all day. I'm the 70+% with them more than Kara, 70+% training them more, 70+% directing them down all day long. She handles them in the early morning, and then when she gets home from work at like 6 or 7 at night, by 8 o'clock we're on the couch like laying down about to go to bed. So of course the dogs are going to see me as the leader, as like the number 1 in the pack, because I initiated the training. I'm with them more, and there's nothing Kara can do to change that unless we completely flip-flopped roles. It's not an insult to Kara whatsoever. She's amazing with the dogs. The dogs totally look up to her as a leader, but they look up to me as the number 1 leader first. It's fact. I don't understand why people get butthurt over it. I don't know, maybe she's having a bad day. Maybe she just needed a little bit of coffee. But curious to know your guys' thoughts on that. Please don't spam the comments. Would you ever consider a female dog? I've answered that a ton. You said it 4 times. Again, don't spam. Maybe. Not super into female dogs. If we got a third if we had like 3 Corsos, yeah, the third would probably be a female. But if we always just have 2, it's always going to probably be 2 males, like 98%. What would I do if I hosted a get-together with lots of friends coming over? I don't have time to have a social life, unfortunately, so I don't need to worry about that at all. But if I had like a dog like him, and I absolutely had to, I would avoid the situation. It's just too much commotion when you have dogs this large that are capable of ripping someone apart. When I'm in public with the dogs, my eyes are always on the dogs, so I just would not let that situation happen, plain and simple. I'd either bring the dogs to doggy daycare for the night, take them out of the house. I wouldn't keep them in the house, that's for sure. What would your advice for introducing 2 dogs with different temperaments to strangers? The same exact thing that I showed on that video, and I would do it 1 dog at a time. And then I would, after I had each dog introduced and they were comfortable, I would again kind of repeat the same pattern of what I just did, but with both dogs. That's what I would say to do. I don't know your dog's temperament, so like I said, every situation is different. Really depends on the temperaments, and because that energy when you get, let's say I'm introducing Bruce to Will. I didn't do that with Justice. He's a puppy. He's like, hey, love everyone, right? The dynamic can change adding another dog. So let's say Justice was full grown. I would have introduced Bruce to Will, brought him inside, introduced JJ to Will, brought him inside, brought them both out, repeated it again just to make sure the energy between the 2 wasn't turning weird, because you never know what's going to happen, right? Once I assessed and thought everything was fine, then on with our business. On with the business. What up, Ray? Oh, and 2 more videos coming out with Will. I wish we would have, we're sitting on the couch talking. I wish I would have filmed the entire hour prior conversation. I'm like, wait a second. This is gold. I should be filming this. So we did 2 videos, him sitting there, me sitting there. So, just chatting back and forth. And now that Will's made the trip once and understands how easy it is and how at home he felt here, it was very important to make him feel at home. He's going to be coming back more. So then my plan is next time he comes, we'll actually plan content. But I really wanted to show Will around. Just kind of, I don't want a camera in her face all the time. It can be a lot sometimes. Avon, my big fat baby, snuggling me while I watch. What kind of dog do you have, Avon? What up, Nancy Butler? Yeah, it's nice. A nice rug, jumping off stuff. How do I feel about Presley Canera? I can't even speak today. I don't really speak on. It's always like a weird question to me. Like, how do you feel about this breed? It's like, what do you mean? I don't want one. I help people train their dogs off like a lot of personal experience. I'm not into knowing all dog breeds. You know what I mean? I know, for example, I've been into videography, photography, video editing for the majority of my life. So I'm my last job was creative director of MTS Nutrition, Outright Bar. So I did like, a lot of design work, that type of stuff, a lot of video work. So I have like pro level skills, right? Essentially. I have pro level skills with videography. So because I have pro level skills with that, doesn't mean I'm like all knowing, because I always get people saying, hey, what do you think about, what's a good beginner camera? Or what do you think about this camera or that camera? It's like, I don't know. I only know what I need to know. I don't know about X, Y, and Z camera. I don't know about like low budget cameras because it's nothing I would ever use. So just like a Pressa, I'm never gonna have one. So I don't know deep about their personalities. Dobermans, I don't know deep about their personalities. Now, if I'm around one, can I read them? Can I understand what they're doing and thinking? Yes. But what do I think about them? I don't know. So that's why I'm like never answered that question, just so you know. And it's not trying to be rude. I can let people in, like Kara's sister. If he knows them, I can let them in. Oh, you can hear him snore? Did Bruce Wayne ever growl, bark, nip your wife? Ooh, nip at 10 months? Nip your wife when she tells him to do anything. Our 10-month-old is really not liking female leadership. No. But a 10-month-old doing that, I can understand it as a puppy. I'd really start working on obedience. If it's in regards to yourself, be more assertive with your leadership. You could be being too soft with the dog, as in, for example, if Bruce wasn't listening, he didn't have his collar on, I'd grab him by the scruff and just, little scruff grab, nothing hard. It'd be like this. I'd be like, sit, right? If I told him to sit and he didn't, I'd go, sit, right? Well, if he doesn't do it, I might have to go, sit, like even harder. Not where you're hurting your dog. I hate how I have to like always say that. I never hurt my dogs, but you have to possibly be more assertive, a little bit harder, not so soft, as in also in your voice. Sometimes Kara will tell the dog to do something, they won't respond. I'm like, you're not assertive enough. And she'll deepen her voice, she'll sharpen her voice, and then the dog's like this. And a lot of it is because of me, because my voice is deeper than hers. I'm the leader of the pack, so so it's a communication thing almost. They understand me better than her. So as soon as she sharpens up and deepens up her voice, they usually respond pretty quick. But back to the question, you just may have to be yourself, more assertive with your dog. I don't know, are you feeding the dogs? If so, make sure you're feeding the dogs real quick. Our last dog before Bruce, an English Bulldog, many, many years ago, when he was adolescent stage puppyhood, it was always me feeding, me training, 100% of everything. I'd leave for work and then the dog would turn into a nightmare. I told Kara, stop talking to the dog in baby voices. There's no need for it. He's not a baby, he's a dog. And start feeding the dog. And then within a week, his behavior 100% turned around. And beyond that, Cast Living, check out the description box. I have a ton of courses listed in there. 10-month-old, go with the Canine Boot Camp. That will completely make your life wonderful. And that's kind of like what I do with the channel. It's like I train these guys every single moment I'm with them, basically. Like, this is training them. I want them to be chill, relaxed. If they were to get up and be barking, I would be like, no, not right now. This isn't the time or place. But that Canine Boot Camp will forever change your life. And I want you guys to have what I have with like these, because who wants to live with an annoying dog their entire life? You're going to be stressed, which is in turn going to stress your dog out more, which is in turn going to stress you out more, which is in turn going to cause more behavior issues with your dog. It's like a vicious cycle, right? So go through that course. It's going to teach you how to be a proper leader to your dog. And it will, I promise, to help immensely. If you use that link with code Jason, you also save 10%. Will left yesterday. The living room, Lexi, the living room is a Corso den. Man, I keep looking at my shirt. I love this shirt. Man. And also, just so you know, I haven't announced it yet. I'm doing an NFT of this design. So I'm only doing 10 of 10. I think I'm pricing them at $100. I'm donating 100% to charity, some type of animal charity. So out of that $1,000, I think the proceeds will be 700, 600, 700, because to do the NFT, obviously, Spring, who does these shirts for me, they take a big percentage of the shirts. I don't even get 50% of the sale, even though I design it and everything. And I know I could do it elsewhere, but I don't, you know, they do all the drop shipping, they handle everything. People just order and they handle everything, right? It's not worth me printing my own, having inventory. I don't have that kind of money to be holding on to inventory. So the same with NFTs. They have a server to run. They have to go through blockchain and all this stuff. So they take 30% of the profit. So that 1,000 would turn into 700. I don't know if there's taxes on top of it. I've never done an NFT before, but I think if it's successful and I don't have a hard time selling 10 of them, I'll do other ones in the future. It won't be this design because, like I said, it's only 10 out of 10. You won't be able to get it ever again. I'm going to start local, and then, you know, I'll put out feelers how it's going to go. At first, I was going to just do Cane Corso shelter, but I don't feel like that'd be right because I have so many of you guys that don't own Corsos, but you just love dogs like me. You love the channel. You love these guys. And I don't want to just be like, oh, I don't like any of the breed. It's just, I'm just giving it all to Corsos. No, there's a lot of Corso shelters that need it. And yes, maybe one day we'll just do one strictly donated to Corsos. But this first one, I think I want to do local. I have a lot of local support, like a lot of local reach. So I think it'd be nice just to kind of get back locally. So I haven't decided when that's launching yet, probably in a week or two. I'll obviously keep you guys posted. Make sure you follow me on Instagram, JasonCorey411. That's where I give a lot of updates. Yeah, that ramp won't work. You gotta remember, the house is only so big. He's very large. The ramp would literally have to be from this camera to probably right here to logically work, and that would be hitting the wall. So that would be impossible. Plus, I'm not looking at ramp all the time. Bruce, oh, okay, you got a Corso too, Avon, nice. My mom loves Bruce Wayne videos. Tell your mom I said hi. I'm curious because I recently met a Cane Corso and a Golden Retriever mix, which was beautiful and interesting mix, but how do you feel about Corso mixes? Like I feel about, like I said, when you asked me about, or when somebody asked me about how do I feel about Dobermans and stuff, I would never get one. It was like meeting my brother Nancy. It was very refreshing. It was very, I don't want to say I'm not a social person. I'm an introvert for sure. Definitely an introvert. Not where I'm afraid to like meet people. I love talking to people, but like in big social gatherings, it really physically drains me. So like, you know, if I was like at a party, for example, talking to a ton of people, after an hour, I'd literally just be like so sleepy, tired, and just want to go home and like lay down and like not even hear sound. With Will, it was completely different. It was like meeting a brother. It was very refreshing to be around someone as like-minded as me. I have a very different life. You know, I retired last March. I put in my 4-week notice, so a year ago. Even before that, I've always had a very different life, a very different personality. You know, I've never drank in my entire life. Grew up like as an only child, so in a neighborhood without a lot of kids, so I spent a lot of times in my very young years with just my dog. So I have a different quirky kind of personality. So it was very nice to be around someone as like-minded as me. Yeah, so it was amazing. It was like meeting my brother, like you said. Will left. Yes, Will's here. And if Kara's here, wish I was there. Miss all my boys. Go subscribe to my wife, Kara Corey Fit Life, in the chat box. No point in bringing him to the vet. I'm not the type of person to run to the vet for every little thing. He's fine. Oh, Yoda Man's here. I missed it. Happy Thursday, Yoda Man, as Lexi said. Hope you're doing well. Time is it? 12:30? All right. Lexi, I get a lot of compliments on my Cane Corso shirts too. All the shirts are bomb, especially these limited edition ones. Thank you. Again, I'm really proud of the grunge collection. 4 different designs, limited time only. So, oh, my itchy head. So make sure you get yours while you can. Exactly, Sunny Gupta. Protective behavior is natural to Corsos and it's instinctive to them, so it'll kick in after adolescence maybe. Yep, it usually kicks in around adolescence, a little bit after. So it's going to be a while for justice. Jade, I've said like a million times that I'm like about the other breed thing. If I got a third dog, it'd be a Corso. I love all dogs, but I wouldn't consider any other dog. No, there's not really a point. I don't have them. I don't have footage of them. I didn't train them the same. Completely different situations. The Akita was an outdoor dog, so I just had him have good with people. I didn't care if he socialized with animals. There's no, I was never around people with dogs. Winston, an apartment dog, again, you know, we got him because of our lifestyle at the time. You know, we were in an apartment. We didn't want to be super active with our dogs. We didn't want to bring our dog everywhere. So you can't, night and day difference in training. Obedient, well-mannered, yes, of course, but completely different. Cronny Runner, thank you. I appreciate that. You have a super cool personality. Kara thinks so. My dog won't stop jumping up. I have to correct him when we eat. Advice? Correct it. Correct the behavior. That's always my advice. My dog's doing this. Well, correct it. Give him a correction every time he does it. Yep, I agree, Sunny Gupta. Obedience training what he needs. Yep. I don't know what a pet corrector is. Nah, don't. A burst of air in a can, no. And the reason why is somebody's like, correct them with a burst of air in a can. No, because you're not always going to have that can in your hand the moment they jump. Corrections have to be like, let's say this is me and this is the dog, right? Here's the dog and here's the dog jumping, right? Correction happens now. Correction happens now. Correction happens now. Instead of, oh, let me grab my can. Like that, they don't understand that. Corrections have to be within like 1 to 2 seconds of it happening, even shorter than that if possible. So you're better off actually correcting it. You know, knee the dog. The dog jumps up, put your knee up, knee it in the chest. You know, the dog be like, ugh. You know, it's not going to kill the dog. It's not going to do damage to the dog, but the dog's going to understand, hey, I can't do that. So that's what I mean by correcting it. Have a leash on it, give it a collar pop. If that's not working, use a prong collar, give it a collar pop. Tons of ways to correct it, but anything your dog's not doing that you don't like to do, correct it within a second. And check out my Correct Any Dog video. I give examples there. Why does my dog pee when she meets someone? Excitement. Yep, only breed you own is English Mastiff. Will is an English Mastiff. Yep, the better the reward on your recall. And also, you're not always going to have, you know, you're going to eventually want to move away. Avon, you're eventually going to want to move away from treats, right? Because you're not always going to have roasted chicken in your pocket, nor should you. And if your dog is very focused on something, that roasted chicken ain't bringing that dog back. I promise you that. So for example, your recall, as I'm sure you understand the importance of recall, it can literally save your dog's life, right? Your dog's running across the road because it sees a cat that it wants to kill. And you're screaming their name and you're throwing up chicken and it's not coming back. So your voice needs to be ultra important. So my advice to that, yes, start with chicken. Get your dog recalling with chicken. And also get your dog in your circle. All of this is like Disney World. All of this is like happy times. So like when you praise your dog for doing something, when your dog's recalling, that probably should be the highest amount of praise. Like you think you're praising like really like, blah, blah, blah. Level that up times 10 because you want your dog coming to you, so you want it to be a happy place. I see people screaming at their dogs to get them to recall. Think about the mind of a child, basically a dog, right? It's on the same level. You're a little kid and your mom's like, get over here. Are you gonna wanna come over to it? You're like, oh crap, my mom or my dad's gonna beat me if I go over there because I just did something wrong. I'm scared. You don't want your dog to be scared to come to you. You want them to be happy and excited to come to you. So just another tip. Let me see. All right, gotta wrap this up here soon. It's 12:37. I'm getting hungry. It's getting bright. Let me turn this down just a little bit. There we go. Sun's coming out. I do these in front of like the window so I don't have to set up lights. Makes it easier for me. Thank you, Don. Yeah, you would have the can of air on you all the time, but is that really fun to carry around a can of air all the time? I just like to do things as natural as possible, like without like having to rely on treats and tools and all this other stuff because, you know, real world, that's always not going to be available. And also, make sure you're not just correcting your dog. You know, you're telling them what not to do. You got to make sure you tell them what to do. And by telling them what to do, that communication is by praise. You know, Justice sits down while I'm making him food. The moment his butt hits the ground, good boy, good sit. You know, that type of thing. You know, it's always remember that. You got to also, it's easy to correct them, and a lot of things are just second nature for me. Me and Will were talking about this. Things are just so second nature to us, we don't even think about it, right? So it's like, for me, it's just so easy to train a dog. For Will, it's just so easy to train a dog because we understand dogs and how we interact with dogs. We do that 24/7. Little dude fell off the bed. He like lays like half on, half off. So sometimes I forget that it's like not second nature for some people, which is fine. But reps, doing reps with yourself, you know, constantly telling your dog, good boy for stuff they like, good boy, you know, good sit, you know. I don't try not to keep my voice from getting too high pitched because I don't want Justice to get all crazy. Want to say hi, buddy? Justice, let's go. Good boy. See, good. I didn't even mean to do it. Good boy. Sit down. Sit down. Oh, he's got the hiccups. Good sit. Good sit, little man. Oh. Here's hiccups. Oh, good sit, little man. So the more, basically the more you do it, the more second nature it becomes, and then the easier the next dog is to train. And that's why I'm always saying, like, Corsos aren't for a first-time dog owner. As educated as you are, possibly on the breed, you know, you obviously want to educate yourself first, but a real-world experience, you're going to come up with things that you never expected. Things are going to happen you never expected, and you don't want to screw up with the breed. Try to do things as proper and right as possible right off the bat. So that's why I'm never big when somebody really has their heart set on a Corso and like that's the first dog they want to get. Come here, come up a little bit farther. Okay. Let me see what else we got here before I head out. Oh, Lexi, I didn't know you had a ridgeback. What? I've known you for like how many years now and you've never told me that? You are slacking, girl. Yeah, see, she'd lick you so much she'd leave sores. That's where you should have like not allowed that behavior. I'm sorry to hear, Brenda, but I'm glad you can hopefully get your fix a little bit. He's looking at the neighbor leave the yard. I hope these videos, you know, kind of give you your puppy fix, kind of bring some sort of happiness to yourself. You know, I know what it's like having health issues. They can be very depressing. You can feel like almost claustrophobic, I guess, like a prisoner in your own body, like where you literally feel claustrophobic because mentally you know what you should be able to do and physically you just can't do it. So I completely empathize with you. My thoughts are do it smart, but definitely do it. What are your thoughts on taking a new puppy out to socialize in between their first and second vaccines? My thoughts, I'm not telling you what to do. I'm not a vet. So if your dog gets sick, don't come back to me saying, Jason Corey got my dog sick because he gave me this advice. So I'm going to tell you what I do. I'm not telling you what you to do. And again, it sucks that in this day and age we have to even say these things and like be that worried about things. But with my vet, with Bruce, told me not to socialize him until all his shots were done at the time. Same vet clinic, different vet. I'm like, okay, but over my head, I wasn't going to take that advice at all. And I'm not being rude, but I understood the breed very well even before getting one. And I understood what an issue that could be. So I was just very smart about it. I wouldn't go to a doggy, I'm not into dog parks anyways. I wouldn't go to a dog park. I wouldn't go to a place where there's a lot of dogs frequenting that area, going to the bathroom. I was just very smart about things, very careful about things. Any dogs that he was going to be introduced to, I had to make sure I knew the dog was like, not sick, not anything weird going on with it. So your decision, your call, but just remember the first 12 weeks of their life is like crucial socialization stage, crucial. You need to keep socializing beyond that, but that is like crucial. And my other vet, like same clinic, but the vet I have now is basically my thought process, and even more so than what I thought. So, she's like, it's amazing that you're socializing him so young. She didn't even say be careful. She probably understands that. I know that already. And then I said, I'm like, yeah, I can't wait till he has all his shots so I can start bringing him to doggy daycare to get that socialization in like as early as possible. And she's like, doggy daycare, all the dogs are vaccinated there. She's like, there shouldn't be an issue. She's like, you should start right now just to get him socialized. So like, I love my vet. She's amazing. And actually, I have 2 videos on the channel with Justice and her. Wonderful woman. Check those out if you want. But yeah, so I followed her advice because I thought it was good advice. Like I said, I'm not a vet, so I never thought of it like that. So I was very open to what she said. If he's got to go to the bathroom, I got to let him out quick. Where you going, dude? Where you going? Where you going, little man? Where you going? Good sit. I didn't even mean to. He just sat next to me like all polite. See what I mean? It's just like so second nature. And Justice coming along good. He's getting like so long and tall. And I'm keeping him nice and skinny. I don't want him like thick right now. It's just going to put too much pressure on his joints. So he's got like his little star. He's got like a little like muscular chest. He's going to make Bruce Wayne. Good boy. Good boy. Oh, you sweetie. Breeding, I hate it when that happens. Where are we? Let me go through these quick. Anything else? I don't like how touchy the chat box is. If I use the scroll wheel, it like zooms up. I gotta like slowly slide it down. PJ says, Sue, I'm about to get a Corso Brindle in April. Can't wait. Check out my, you may like this video. Check out my color video, color and lifespan on Corsos. Brindle has the longest lifespan. And yeah, apparently genetics play a role in lifespan. And also size. I didn't even know that until JJ. Probably a few weeks ago, Zoe DeVita, the breeder for Justice and for Bruce, she was telling me that usually black tend to run larger than other colors. Out of all the colors, they're typically on average the largest. Brindle, I believe, has the longest lifespan. I haven't looked at the research behind that in a while. I did that video over a year ago, but I'm pretty sure I'm correct on that. Don't quote me though. That's right, Nancy. You got to get them out in that first 12 weeks. Man, there's a lot of comments here. You guys are awesome. Oh, that sucks, Jenna. How did, if you're still here, Jenna, my dog had parvo, missed association window because of it. What kind of breed? Can you let me know what kind of breed? How your dog ended up, boy or, like if it's boy or girl, like how, if they're healthy now. I hope so. I hope, it wasn't anything devastating. And then how their socialization is. All right, I'm going to let him out quick. I don't want him to go to the bathroom. Like he said, he had diarrhea, so. Good boy, buddy. Good boy. Don't eat dirt, though. I know you want to, and I know you're going to. Okay. Good boy. And we got Big Bruce here. All right, let me just check out these comments. So yeah, I'm really curious how that panned out for you, and like how, like, what were the complications, like not socializing in those first 12 weeks? Like what you ran into? I hate it when our dogs get sick. It always breaks my heart. And it's like, I get so sad hearing about people's dogs pass. And unfortunately, it comes with the territory, and I completely understand why. I get probably like 5 messages a day of people just telling me like, my dog just died today. It's like, and then like the entire heartbreaking story. And it's like, bums me out so much. I hate seeing those, and I totally understand. People need to get stuff off their chest. It's so sad. Justice looks like a little black pickle. I don't think I want to eat a black pickle. It's probably rotted or so. Trish, I have a dogo. How'd you get your dog to be so calm? A lot of training. You know, if people always ask, like, oh my God, I couldn't bring my dog to the gym because they're not calm like this. And if you watch my videos, all these daily vids with Justice, these dogs aren't calm. I get to the gym at I'm at the gym by 7 a.m. I haven't played with the dogs. They may play with each other for like a half hour, but that's not enough to fully calm them down. And even before, when I just had Bruce, he wouldn't play at all. It's teaching them a lot of self-control, a lot of impulse control. And you'll see what I did with Justice. I literally documented it in these videos. So I'd recommend watching those. It's never too late. You can totally do it. You can always teach an old dog new tricks. It's just much harder to teach an old dog new tricks because you got to take out a behavior they've done forever and try to instill a new behavior. And so it's very tough. And I don't want to say very tough to say don't even bother trying. Definitely try, but expect some roadblocks. Expect it to take a little bit longer than if you had like a puppy and started your puppy from day one like that. Which is also why I don't adopt dogs. I want to be able to mold my dog from the start. I have a very particular lifestyle, especially with Lyme. So I need my dogs to act a certain way for my own mental sake. Okay, so it's a Cane Corso. So Jenna with her dog that got parvo, 3 months old. Where'd that go? Crap. I'm leaning forward because the computer's in front of me. Where'd it go? Okay, Cane Corso boy, healthy now, mostly had a UTI and has a hernia. My English Bulldog had a hernia as a puppy. That's not uncommon. But bad breeder, vet is still discouraging socialization. Why is your vet still discouraging socialization? 3 months old and 12. I'd be careful with that, Jenna. If your dog's healthy, I'm just saying, you've been here for the whole video, I think. So, I gave my thoughts on it. With a breed like this, a giant breed, you just want to give him as much experience in life as possible, real world experience, seeing things in their surroundings. Canine Pomeranian. I wonder how that would even happen. Oh, Nancy, Bruce loves the Chihuahua at daycare. Oh, Houston, I love Houston. My aunt used to live there. She just moved. I've been there plenty of times. I was there, not this past November, the November before. November 2021. No, November 2020. Hurts, no. Do not get a Cane Corso as your first dog. Rewatch this video. It's not going to be time-stamped, but I was talking about why you shouldn't get a Cane Corso as your first breed. Let me look at one more thing quick before I hop off. I've been on here for a while. All right. There is no stud fee, Edwin. KFC, thank you. Thank you. So, KFC says, you don't go to a dog trainer for health advice, don't go to a vet for training advice. You are like on the same, we're like, are we brothers, bro? Are we brothers, sisters? I don't know if you're a guy or girl. I say this all the time. Yes, some vets are amazing dog trainers because they furthered their education. Some, and when I say some, I mean a very small amount. Some vets are amazing dog nutritionists because they further their education. I see it with doctors all the time in like the real world situation with us, right? For example, my wife's a dietitian. A doctor likes to give nutrition advice because they're a doctor, and some doctors think they just know all. And you don't know how much bad nutrition advice we hear from doctors give people that can be long-term damaging to them, either mentally or actually physically. So any non-medical advice your vet gives, take with a grain of salt. You know, if have furthered their education in dog training and prove that they are great at dog training, yeah, you have an open mind, but it's not the end-all be-all. So thank you for putting that out there. And I'm not talking trash on vets. You guys want to follow an amazing vet who, she's not one for dog training, I don't believe, but she's a vet, and she is great with pet nutrition, is Dr. Karen Becker. She is the one that introduced me to not neutering your dog or cat because of the hormonal damage and long-term forever damage it does to your pet. I know it's controversial. Bruce was the first dog I've never neutered. I'm not neutering him. Justice isn't going to be neutered. But and that's the thing. It's like a lot of people don't have an open mind. A lot of people don't want to change their thinking pattern. They're very closed-minded. What they learned 10 years ago, they still practice today. And that's another thing with vets and doctors. A lot of times they're just so far behind in the science, in the proven science in the medical field that's out there today, because there's many factors, right? Maybe the doctor's ignorant and is like, no, my way or no, what I do is right. Or doctors work a lot. They're at work all day long, 8, 10, 14 hours a day. They don't have the time to dive into new research, new studies, new way of doing things. So I would probably say the majority of vets in the United States still push spay and neutering because they aren't educated on the research that has come across the past 5, 10 years on how destructive it really is to your dog. So yeah, have an open mind with your vet, but also it's your due diligence as your dog's parent, as the leader to your dog, to fully understand what's going on. Your vet does something. If the vet tells me to do something, I'm not going to do it without understanding it fully and researching it. If the doctor tells me to do something personally, if I don't believe in what they're telling me to do, I'm going to research it. I'm going to get a second, third, fourth opinion. You know, let's say you went to the doctor. Doctor, there's something really wrong with my arm. Oh, we need to amputate your arm. Are you going to go get your arm amputated? Or are you going to go see another doctor? Are you going to go see another doctor on top of that and another doctor because you don't want to lose your arm? And obviously I'm using a very extreme, comparison here, but just to kind of get the wheels turning in your head. You always have an open mind. Always be learning. Always be taking in information, just in life in general, not just with dogs. All right, guys, I am going to head out here. This was much longer than I was anticipating. Usually these lives are going to be an hour long. I got caught up talking to you guys. I love chatting with y'all. I like these lives because, it gives me a chance to actually communicate with you one-on-one, talk to you guys a little bit, answer some questions. Ron, I would never neuter my dogs. I agree with you on that point. My breeders also strongly advise not to do it because of the long-term effects and the lack of hormones has on your pup. Exactly. So imagine any guys out there or any females. I guess it doesn't matter. So guys, let's say, let me just literally cut off your testes, right? So you're hypogonadal. Hypogonadal for your entire life, right? What is that going to do to your mentals? What is that going to do to your overall body, your structure? Your joints are going to be weak. Your bones are going to be weak. Your mind is going to be a literal mess. You're going to be depressed. You're going to be anxious. Your organs aren't going to function like they fully should. It's no different with our dogs. And like I said, there's no shame if you have a dog or cat that's neutered or spayed, but there's other ways around it. You can argue the fact that, well, I don't want my dog reproducing. Well, do you let your dog run around and hump everything that it sees, like other dog? No, you don't. You guys are responsible dog owners. I know you guys are. So you don't need to worry about that. Yes, your dog can get prostate cancer. Or not, yeah, even if you don't know. Your dog can get testicular cancer, but so can all the dudes out there. And so you need to weigh the pros and cons, right? And here's another example that somebody I follow on YouTube actually gave today. They're talking about fitness because they're a fitness guy. A lot of people use the excuse that my dog's too aggressive, or my dog's, just being a jerk, being an a-hole, getting into everything, super hyper. So chopping off your dog's testicles or removing their, or spaying them is the fix? No, that's not the fix. If you have a kid and your kid's like a craphead, right? You're gonna chop off their testicles just to calm them down because they're a craphead? Think about it like that. No, you're not gonna do that. That's not the way to fix an issue. You fix the issue through proper leadership and training. And then on top of it, you don't know what you're gonna get. I've seen dogs become, super mellow and lazy because probably they're depressed now because they don't have hormones. I've seen the complete opposite. I've seen dogs get super aggressive. I've seen dogs get more energetic. So it's almost playing like Russian roulette. You don't know what you're gonna get. So just a warning, you don't know what's gonna happen. And that's one of the big areas where veterinary medicine really needs to change. There's other ways to do things. There is vasectomy, just like guys can get. There's something called an ovary sparing spay, which in female dogs, both those procedures in males and females, it keeps their hormones intact. I believe I caused Cushing's disease in my English Bulldog. That's a hormonal disease, and I believe I caused it because the internet isn't what the internet is today. There wasn't information like there is today. So all I had to really go off of was my vet's advice. One, I think they neutered him too young. Two, I don't think he should have been neutered at all. But I think that's what caused it because Cushing's disease is a hormonal disease. And again, that's on me. I should have got, if I was 29, 30 when I got him. I don't know. So young, dumb. So again, I fully take ownership on that. I take ownership on giving my dog Cushing's disease. I don't pass it on to the vet and blame the vet. Oh, the vet gave my dog Cushing's disease. No. At the time, all these studies were out, and all the studies on what cancers and what other horrible diseases and long-term issues come from spaying and neutering your pets, And the issue is vets don't know a lot of that information, or a lot of it's not shared. So before you come at me hating me because I'm against spaying and neutering, please educate yourself first. Anyone out there, if you do it, cool, it's your own decision, but just fully know what you're doing before you do it. I did not expect to tangent on like that. I'm sorry. Crony Runner River Boy having the implant. At JC, that's dog abuse. Breed dependent breed neutering might be best. Breed has high risk of prostate, testicular cancer. Okay, so Voodoo. I'm going to read Voodoo's comment, and I'm going to debate that comment. And actually go watch. I have 2 videos, spaying and neutering, and I'll go more in depth. It's just going to be a quick debate. Depending on breed, neutering might be best if the breed has high risk of prostate and testicular cancer, but it doesn't help anything else, and the effects are high. Okay, even not spay and neutered, the chances of testicular cancer and prostate cancer are still very low. The survival rate for testicular cancer and prostate cancer are extremely high. I think like 2% death rate if you get that. The likelihood, the percentage of getting bone cancer from spaying and neutering, I think goes up maybe tenfold, and that's a death sentence right there. Your dog gets bone cancer, it's most likely, sadly, a death sentence. So testicular cancer is horrible, but it's in the grand scheme of your dog's life isn't a big deal. It can be tackled, it can be handled, it can be cured. Bone cancer cannot. A lot of these other cancers and issues that arise from spaying and neutering cannot be fixed. So Voodoo, please go check out those 2 videos. Just type in on YouTube, Jason Corey, neutering. I got 2 videos up. No disrespect to you, bro. No disrespect whatsoever. Just kind of, you know, you got to think of it like that as well. PJ, me and my girlfriend, I don't really share a lot of my life with people, but this, you know, me and my girlfriend smoke a lot of weed in our apartment, but windows always opened, it's always aired out. Would that be okay for my dog? So I grew up straight edge. Never drank in my life, like I said. I started using weed, I think 39, because I didn't realize I had Lyme disease. I knew there was something wrong with me. A lot of chronic pain. And so I was, for like over a decade trying to figure out what was wrong with me. I'm like, I'm going to try medical marijuana because I do not want to put pharmaceuticals in myself. I mean, I don't even think pharmaceuticals would really help that much. So I too use weed daily. I don't open my windows. I don't want to say I use a lot of it. You know, it's not like my house is all like smoked up. I'll vape or I'll have like an edible. I've never seen Bruce or Justice like act any different. So no, I don't think it should be an issue. Don't hotbox your dog essentially. If there's smoke in the house, yeah. Smoke isn't good for anyone. So I don't know how, the studies aren't out in vaping either. I'm sure it's not great, but probably less than if I was actually to smoke it. So if it's smoke, keep it aired out. I don't open my windows and it's vape, and I'm not right next to the dogs when I do it, and it's never an issue. Joey Justice outside, probably eating dirt, so I need to go. What makes your dog grow faster? Do not make your dog grow faster. You're going to destroy them. Nothing makes your dog grow faster. Well, yes, overfeeding your dog makes them grow faster, and it really hurts their joints. I decided to get my male dog neutered. KFC, I decided to get my male dog neutered. He was fully mature. Go away comment. He's fully matured, so we figured, sure, since then he hasn't been the same. His hips and joints are worse off, and worse than that, his confidence is much lower. Exactly. Testosterone and confidence go like hand in hand, and you know, if somebody has, like, for example, if a human has ultra low testosterone, their emotions are gonna change, and part of emotions, like emotion and confidence kind of go hand in hand, and it's going to just make you less confident. Thank you for being open with that, KFC. Like, that's why I love this community. We can be open, and KFC didn't make a mistake. He didn't know better. He wasn't, I'm sure, knew about the research at the time. So that's why I'm always like advocating, before you make any decision like that, just fully understand what you're getting into. Check out Dr. Karen Becker. She has videos on spaying and neutering, guys. Don't take it from me. I'm not a vet. I've done a lot of research on it. I've read a lot of research studies. Take it from a vet who does this and who was extremely, she would only take, if somebody told her they weren't going to spay or neuter her dog, they are gone. They were not her client anymore. There's a video where she's talking about this. She read the research and was just in tears, calling clients, apologizing for what she did to their dog. Please, Dr. Karen Becker, check her out. Don't take my word for it. Do your research, you know, do your due diligence. Oh, thank you, August Zanzak. You're awesome, dude. Very much appreciate your donation in a super chat. Very, very kind of you. It goes to feed the puppies. God, our food bill is so high now. Like, so growing, puppies need more food than a fully grown dog. So Justice, we feed our dogs raw, is eating close to what Bruce eats now. Not as a puppy, as Bruce, you know, when Bruce was adolescent, he was eating 6, some days 7 pounds a day. Justice is at like 4.5. Bruce eats 5 a day. Justice is like Bruce, they'll self-regulate. Some days Bruce will just skip a meal, skip 2 meals. I love how they self-regulate, and Justice is the same. So people like, when people feed their dogs, either what it says in the bag of kibble or raw, the percentages, sometimes people are too like militant and like, my dog must eat this much. No, every dog's different. Use those numbers as a starting point and monitor how your dog looks, monitor how your dog feels. If your dog, you know, is getting like plump, but they're eating what you think they should be, that means you need to take some of that food away, feed them less. If you can see a little bit of rib, that's perfect. If your dog, you can see their spine and you're still going off of like, let's say the high percentage of food they should be eating, you might want to increase it a little bit. So there's no like end all be all. And same with dog training, every situation is different. That's why I have like a hard time answering people's dog training questions when they are just almost like a blanket statement. My dog jumps on people. It's like, okay, like what triggers the dog to jump on people? You know, like no situation's the same. Or my dog's aggressive. Is it really aggressive? I need to see if it's really aggressive, because a lot of people, like we were talking about before, mix aggression with the dog just doing its job. Jade, not everyone, you can't be answered every single time. Sorry, dude. Brenda stopped smoking for her dog. Good for you, Brenda. That's amazing. Yes, and Justice has experiences growing pains every now and then. So did Bruce. And a lot of puppies, I had growing pains as a kid. Just in general, they're going to get growing pains, but they're also going to plump up your dog if you overfeed them. Those joint plates aren't closed until 1.5 years. And again, 1.5 years is a blanket statement. It could be 2 years, it could be 1 year, and every breed is different. I'm talking about Corsos here. That can cause long-term joint issues. Oh, thank you, Jenny. You're amazing. Thank you for the donation. I actually texted my farmer who we get raw food from. I'm like, hey, can you deliver this weekend? She's like, yeah, sure. What do you need? So it's going to be, so that the super chat donations go to feeding the dogs. God, how much does it cost now? Spend about, I think we're probably up to like $800 a month on dog food. Yes, Sonny, a leader is what your dog wants and needs. Yeah, KFC, we buy it wholesale. It's a farmer. Because I buy so much, she gives me wholesale prices. And then any damaged packaging, I get at even a cheaper rate because she can't sell it to the grocery stores. It's funny because it's organic, grass-fed, grass-finished, which I'm sure you know is extremely pricey. But even that is cheaper than non-organic in the grocery store because I buy in bulk. If you guys want, I can do a live video on maybe their food. How much I spend on raw a month? 800 to 1,000. See, I love how people are helping each other in the comments and being respectful. You know, thank you for Evan for helping others in the comments because I can't answer everyone. I can't tear myself away from you guys. Yeah, see, every dog's different, Dodo. Every dog is different. No dog wants neutering. No, I don't think is Jess gonna be bigger than Bruce? No, I think he's gonna be smaller. Just my thoughts. Bruce, remember, Bruce is like above average. Brooke, I do not have a brand of kibble I recommend. No shame if you feed kibble, I'm not hating. My thought is all kibble is garbage. Not throwing shade your way. It's all processed. If you look over the past 2 years, how many dog food recalls they were, you got to also remember there's only X amount of manufacturers in the United States. So these high-end dog foods, they're also producing low-end dog foods. What makes a dog high-end or like quality? You know, I mean, obviously you're going to use some better ingredients, but in the end, it's all processed. Just like I don't eat cereal. I don't even eat cereal. I have to eat very healthy because of Lyme. But I don't eat processed food. Kibble is processed food. I don't give my dogs processed food. Before Bruce, every other dog I had was on kibble. All my dogs lived a healthy, long life. Would they have lived a longer life? Who knows? There's no way to tell. But just my thoughts are, you know, I'm just not a believer in kibble, so I won't recommend anything. Jenny, I just want to say thank you to you guys. I've become a better leader for my Cane Corso that I was lucky enough to rescue and help my kids also become leaders. That's amazing that you helped your kids become leaders and teaching them at a young age. Nancy spends way more on her dog's food than theirs. I think we do too. We probably spend about the same because I eat pretty much organic. It's expensive. Oh, look at the comments coming in. Treats. I mean, I feed Bruce Wayne. I'm not like militant where I won't give him like a non-raw treat. Try to find a whole food type treat if you can, or with minimal ingredients. No, I'm not going on hikes with Justice. He's too young. Too young. Be like a year and a half before he can have full exercise range. All right, guys, I'm heading out. I got to check on little dude. You know, little dudes are mischievous. So thank you to everyone so much that's donated in the super chat. It definitely goes a long way. Helps to feed the puppy dogs. They're not cheap to feed. Everything I'm associated with is going to be in the description box. Those training courses, they will change your life. My merch, remember, this is limited time. This is limited time only. The Grunge Collection, 4 different designs. So get it while you can. Once it's gone, it's not coming back. Bruce Wayne is barking at Justice. I don't know why. Justice wants to come in. And I see he's got grass in his mouth. The little dude is being a jerk eating dirt. So make sure you guys subscribe. Thank you, Zach. And Zach Zach is a member. I do have a members area. Thanks for being a member, Zach. I'm actually going to post a video for members only. I have like a full-length video of how I taught Justice. I like to eat like on the dog bed, like sitting here watching TV and just eating the floor like I'm like a little kid. Well, thank you so much, Ron. I appreciate it. Thank you, sir, for the donation to Super Chat. You're amazing. So Zach, I think I'm going to upload the entire, I showed like a small clip in a video, but like literally just me sitting here eating with the dog. You'll see all the corrections I do, all that stuff. So I think I'm going to upload that whole thing today just for members only. It's because I don't want to put it in the channel. It's too boring. So, but you may like kind of enjoy it. We'll see. Thanks for everyone watching. Again, Thursdays is coffee. Thursdays is coffee and Corsos with Jason Corey. Typically late morning, because by the time I get home from the gym, feed myself, the leader eats number 1, then I got to feed Bruce, the next in the hierarchy eats 2, then Justice last. It's like 10:30, then I got to make a thumbnail, set up the live, get an idea, takes about another hour. So late morning, they'll probably last an hour. This was like 2 hours long today. And then Sundays in the doghouse with the Coreys, it's going to be me, the dogs, and Kara. So we have like another opinion since she's an amazing leader. And I come off very direct, which a lot of people find me being ignorant, me being an a-hole. It's just how I talk. I don't know if it's just because of how I am with the dogs. You have to be very direct when you talk to dogs. And I'm just a very direct person. I don't beat around the bush. I don't mean to make people butt hurt. I'm not trying to offend people, but you're going to get like a little bit softer of like answers from her. So I love you guys. Thank you. I can't believe everyone's stuck around like 170, 200 people this whole entire live. Thanks for watching me blab on, and I'm going to go take care of the dogs now. So Sundays live, probably around between 1 and 3 p.m. because at 5 p.m. on Sundays we go live on my wife's channel. Everyone, thank Lexi for modding. She also mods Kara's channel, Kara Corey Fit Life. Go show her some love. Jason Corey 411 on Instagram. Kara Corey Fit Life on Instagram. Kara Corey Fit Life on YouTube. She's an amazing woman. Wouldn't be here without her. We'll see you later. Peace, guys. Thank you for watching, and thanks for being respectful in the